Toxic fandom is when this becomes a bad thing, which can happen in a myriad of ways. I think I've seen enough. You all knew this was coming. Excuse that, I was a bit thirsty. What is a toxic fandom? Well, before I can answer what fandoms are toxic, what I can say is it goes beyond obsession. This reaches dangerous territory, and by dangerous, it's when the fans of it become both a danger to themselves and others. That being said, the only way I can answer the what fandom is toxic question is with this contrarian question. What fandom isn't toxic? The answer to that question is none of them. They're all toxic to an extent. So, why am I asking this? Today well, not today, this is a precursor, but this is the start of me discussing every fandom I've ever been a part of. And I'm going to discuss the big five. Not in suit. Well, kinda in suit. This is the closest thing I've got. I'm mostly doing this so nobody sees my face, because my face is ugly. So it's going to be in a chronological order of what fan bases I was ever a part of. The first one being the Mario Brothers, second, Blasphemy, Sonic, third, Pokemon, fourth, Minecraft, and last, Five Nights. I know the last of those is cringe, I know, but bear with me. I was an obnoxious hormonal teen at that point, so I will not be discussing the furry fandom because I only really became a member when I was legally an adult. I'm going to be discussing my childhood fandoms. And when I discuss the furry fandom, I'm going to discuss the prospect of being wild. Now, what I mean by wild is somebody who doesn't belong to any fandom. And also, it's kind of a play on word, furries, animals, wild. I don't belong to any fandom. I kind of quit fandoms, but I will discuss that when I discuss the furry fandom and being wild. So, that's a thing. So, kind of like my old rant on fandoms in themselves, I am going to do each rant on each fandom to a speed paint. Now, to those who don't believe me, I did make that speed paint, but the reason why it was chunked so awkwardly is because I was kind of paranoid that I would lose my progress. because Medibang Paint was being a bitch, so... So, if it's awkwardly chunked out, just bear with me. It logged me out and I forgot all of my credentials, because I logged in when I was... what? I had to have been a junior or a sophomore then, and it's been over a year since I graduated, so I haven't actually plugged in the credentials in years. So, this is my off-camera look. This is how I will, simply for anonymity's sake, for the same reason why I also don't give my last name, my address, my phone number. Because I know at least 1 or 2 people who watch I actually know in real life. So, just for that sake, that's another reason why I wear this mask. And also because, well, trash can. So... my rants on the individual fandoms will be to a speed paint. However, for the furry fandom, I've got something real special planned. If you guys can't tell, I'm not smiling right now. That one's gonna be pretty much a 2-in-1. But the main reason why is simply because I'm not just going to discuss the fandom itself, but I'm going to discuss why I quit being in fandoms. And I will tell you, it was the furry fandom that made me do this. That being said, I'm not gonna give up drawing the way I do because of that. Just because some people who did stupid shit. I ain't gonna. However, that also being said, I'm not going to vouch for people who put the fandom's reputation before other people's safety. So, I'm not going to spoil it, because that is going to come when it comes. But that's the precursor I'm going to leave you with. Just pretty much, this is like a little appetizer. This is an appetizer. The other 5 are like the salad, your drinks. But my rant on fandoms as a whole, when I go to discuss the furry fandom and why I left fandoms as a whole, that is the main course meal. And my final thoughts are the dessert. That little snippet I did with the fandom's more harm than good video, that is just getting you a little teeny weeny little taste of what's to come. You think I was done there? No. No, amiche, no. So that being said, I'm not letting this shit go unnoticed. Every fandom I will be discussing in the Big 5 are all toxic. Whether it be obnoxious, underaged fan brats, bad fan art, or just bad reputations. Nostalgia tards, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Obnoxious squeakers who ruin a whole reputation of a property. And more obnoxious squeakers plus shipping wars. Or shipping wars minus the squeakers. I don't know which is worse. So, that last video plus this little thing is pretty much a tiny little sample. It's like a sample of what's to come. And by a sample, I mean like when you go to a food stand at a store and they're giving out these little samples in a cup or on a tiny plate, that's what kind of sample I mean. Sorry for all the food analogies, I'm just hungry and I like cooking, so it's not just a woman's art. Also, I mean, it's one of the other arts I like to do besides drawing and writing and everything else. But mostly because I'm hungry. I don't know why I insisted on filming this when I was hungry. So that being said, this is just a little taste. I'm not done discussing these things. Some of these have to be said. And it will probably be a unique perspective, because the only perspectives you ever really get are the anti-fans or the brainlets, or retarded fan brats. So it's a little different getting perspective from somebody who is a fan, but is an anti-fandom fan, if you know what I mean. By anti-fandom fan, I don't mean I dislike everything about the property. I mean anti-fandom fan as in I love the property, but I just can't take the fandom. So this is going to be a bit of a weird perspective for you guys. And it's gonna be wild. No pun intended. Pun definitely intended, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. Io sono un uomo molto stupidissimo. So, that being said, this isn't going to be your typical fandom videos, and it certainly isn't going to be your typical defending fandom videos. Like I said, I'm not a member of a hate-dom. Duh. But I'm not a sheeple follower, if you know what I mean. That being said, I hope you listen to my perspective. I'm not saying my perspective is superior to all others, because I am nonpartisan. But just hear me out. I mean, it's only fair. I tend to hear other people out. Truth be told, when it came to the Caro drama, back when it dropped, I had way too much patience. And look where that landed me. Disowned by someone who claimed he was a friend of mine. Simply because I wasn't a sheeple follower of Caro. So, until then, Luciano out.